Record. Hello, hello. Welcome to Team Rise and Fit team call for August 8th already. Holy moly, look at the time go by. And I just want to say welcome. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for joining us here live. Thanks for watching the recording. Tonight we're going to be talking about how to share your story. And so I've got lots of different examples. We're going to get to work. We're going to do some brainstorming of your own story. We're going to be really kind of putting our heads down on paper tonight and really making sure you can walk out of this call with something actionable and something to do from here. It's not just a sit and get. If you've been walking along in our book study, that you know that information is great, but action is where things happen. And so if you have the book already or not, if you're waiting on it, that's cool. You've been following along with people's posts, or if you're going to jump in, you can just answer the questions as they kind of come in. But and think about what people are commenting on as we go. I'm listening to an audio version of it, and I also have it in paperback form or hardcore form. It's just because the resources that are in here are really good. So I highly encourage you to get the book. I'm not doing anything fancy with it. I'm literally just posting the graphic, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And it's your guys' job to go in, read the chapter, and respond to how you reflect on it. All right. Anybody that participates every single day for the however many days there are, 21 days-ish, we'll get, there's 21 chapters. Anyone that participates in all 21 days, even if you're going back and catching up, by the end of 21 days, it will be put into drawing for a $25 gift card. I really feel like this book is going to move you if you apply the information that is in there. Okay. I'm not going to handhold here. It's just an opportunity for you to grow. Take it if you want. Run with it if you want. Don't if you don't want. That's up to you. And so we've got the book club going on. Tonight we're going to be talking about sharing your story. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get a lot of work done, and hopefully you walk away with something that you can, like I said, do something with. All right? Okay. Is there anyone brand new on? I don't see anyone brand new on. Is there any shout outs that we want to do before we get rolling? Anyone have anything fun to share, to celebrate? Anyone? We could just celebrate that Jessica added another Jessica to the team. That's kind of fun and interesting. We were just laughing about that today. And then she adds another Jessica. I'm going to have to post last name with a J in front of it just to keep it real, so we all know who each other are. And I'm assuming she's watching the Zoom tonight on her brand new computer. Also good. Okay. Anything else? Anything fun? Anything good? Glad you can laugh at this scenario, Miss Jess. I like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you. You get me in my pajamas because I'm sick and all that. But this transition to this new computer has been a little tricky. And so then I keep thinking, because it's exactly the same. I ordered the exact same one. But then my little things aren't there. So I'm always like, so that's all. But I have a computer, so that's all that matters. I don't care.
Yay. All right. Anything else special, fun to share that we're celebrating? Any people? Anything? I want to give a shout out to Miss Steph, who's on the screen. She, over 2,000 volume, like 2,700 volume right now. Like she's crushing it. A shout out to Miss Bethany Beth. Sorry. Beth. I don't know why I called you Bethany all of a sudden. Ms. Beth for doing a great one-on-one with me yesterday, and she's already taking action and asking more questions. That's awesome. Jill, I got to hang out with Jill this week too. It's been so much fun. If you've not gotten a one-on-one yet, go ahead and do so. I am out Thursday through Sunday, but then we're kind of back at it again next week. So sign up for time. Let's chit chat. Let's brainstorm how we can get your business moving and or just even hit out some life stuff and work on, we're friends first, and go from there. So, are we ready to roll? Ready to take some action tonight? I don't know about you, but I have been watching along. I'm not a Major Pumpkin fan, but Carl just talked about on his, oh, it disappeared, of course. I had it pulled up on my phone. Carl just announced the whole, oh, you can't see that, of course, but the whole pumpkin Shako coming very soon. And so I made a poll just now on my page that said, are you a pumpkin fanatic or could you care less? So guess who I'm going to start talking to about pumpkin flavored Shakeology, limited edition, September to October only. Those people that are saying they're pumpkin fanatics, right? This is a great opportunity for them. They love pumpkin everything. I mean, there's the people that are going to put pumpkin like in the weirdest places, right? You know, like how you put ketchup on the craziest things. People that like are diehard pumpkin fans will do the same thing. So why not give this a try? And so it's already starting to get talked about. It says it's launching September 17th in the United States, just a month away. Time to start talking about it. And October 11th in Canada. Okay, the other thing I was going to pull up on here, and I just got to make sure I got it ready. We're going to talk about sharing our story tonight, and so I wanted to give you some examples. Let's talk about how it's happening, and then I want to share with you somebody that is doing a really amazing job at sharing her story on Instagram. And so I want to give you those real-life examples here as we get going. But why is it important? Does anyone have anything to share before I get started? Anything? Quiet? Crickets? Okay. All right, we'll get rolling then. All right, why is it important to tell your story? Well, it's really important because there are 400 and some thousand Beachbody coaches, and you are not a Beachbody employee. You are your own CEO of your own company. When you paid that $40 or you bought that challenge pack, you signed up as a business owner of your own company. So it's usually named something like your own team name or your own business, your own name personal, like you are Jess Roetter, Beachbody coach. You are Beth Westendorf, Beachbody coach. You are Candace Williams, Beachbody coach, right? And so you partner with Beachbody to do coaching. You support people with those resources. You may bring on some other resources like personal development and other kinds of things, but you're not necessarily an employee of Beachbody. You partner with Beachbody to do that. So in order to distinguish yourself from all the other people who partner with Beachbody as well, you need to make sure that you are telling your story, connecting with the people that you want to connect with, and finding the people that are going to want to connect with you. And so we partner with them. That you want people to partner with you in your mission, what you're doing. So every story starts with the main idea. So we get back down to like, you know, elementary school age, like every story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And every story has a point, right? There's always something that's happening, or there's going to be something that is kind of the main gist of the story. Your story that you tell every day in a post or over the length of a week or in the length of a month, or your story has a purpose. Your story has a point to it, right? You are telling your Beachbody story or your health and wellness story, or you are telling, you know, about a financial struggle, or you're talking about a physical transformation, or maybe you're talking about an emotional transformation. Your story should have a point to it. So think about the main idea. What is it that you really want to talk about? And then we're going to also talk about how you craft that story tonight. Okay, so like I'm going to give you lots of tools and resources to actually figure this out, but I'm just talking about like your story it needs to have a main point to it. What is it that you want to share about your life? What is it that you want to share about your story? What is it that you want to share about your journey? And start kind of thinking about things there. Then to kind of get to that point, you might be asking yourself some questions. You might find some story starters. You might, you know, look through somebody else's posts or things to kind of get some inspiration on what you could or how you might share things. It's not a bad thing to look at other coaches and, you know, success leaves clues. See what they're doing, what's being successful for them. It's not an okay thing for you to go copy what another coach is doing, because that's not your story. That's their story. Okay. It's not okay for you to go compare yourself to another coach and go down the rabbit hole of like comparison kills joy. We don't want you doing that either. What we want you to do when you go look at other coaches or the top coaches or other people in the team or somebody that you're inspired by is to simply be that. Be inspired by it. Don't necessarily go think that you have to be exactly like that person, but Take from it what you find inspirational and then translate it to your post. Success leaves clues. Go find the clues of success other places and then implement them into what you're doing. Any questions thus far? Okay. If you have questions at any point, feel free to unmute yourself and get going, okay? You like ranch dressing? Great. I'm glad you like ranch dressing. Just looking through the chat right now. Okay. And so what is your story? What is your story consist of? Like, what are those main ideas? What are those topics, right? Well, they are, they're all the pieces, bits and pieces of who you are, of the events that you've had in your life. So if you kind of look at like your timeline of life, right? Like I was born on June 3rd, 1983. Probably not something anyone's going to want to care about at this point, but it might if it has something to do with something that happened later in my story. So I could start out with just brain dumping my entire life on paper and then going back and highlighting significant things that have happened to me in my life. Or I could go along the lines of really coming up with kind of these kinds of topics. So sometimes the most important thing to share with other people are sometimes the things that are most uncomfortable to share. They're the things that we tend to shy away from because we don't want other people to know. We have our own shame around what's happened, and we don't necessarily, I don't want to hurt my parents. I don't want to talk to, I don't want to hurt other people. I've been working through some of those things myself lately, and I've really come to the realization that it's my story, it's how I've interpreted life, and it's how I'm working through the emotions of my own. And yes, we should be sensitive to other people, but not to the point of us not sharing our story. If that makes sense. So sometimes what your story might be is sometimes the most uncomfortable things that you've always kind of put aside or kind of put under the rug and like just don't talk about. Sometimes your story is the trials that you've had in your life, and then share the triumph that comes from it, because we all know that when you struggle, there's strength in that, and that there's an overcoming of that story. You're still here, right? And so those things that happen, like just like we heard in the Rachel Hollis movie, they had all those things that those women had been through, and then she said, but guess what? You're still here. You've made it, right? So all of those trials, all of those tribulations, all the struggles and the adversity in your life, you've made it to the other side because you're here today. And so what are the triumphs? What are the lessons learned from those struggles? And how can you share the struggle, but also the solution, or how you overcame that? Because even it has nothing to do with obviously your business is about Beachbody and improving your health and wellness, but it's also about improving your life as a whole. So anytime that you can share a struggle with a solution, you're going to be providing value to somebody that needs to hear it, right? So like, I'm just thinking about Jill right now because I'm looking at her. Her mission is to help those mamas sitting on the floor unworthy, feeling unworthy, and like they're not good enough for their family. That kind of has something to do with fitness, kind of has something to do with nutrition. I mean, obviously everything's tied together. We know that, but like somebody else might not realize that. And so they're just connecting to that piece of the story. It's not about a workout program. It's not about drinking a shake. It's about part of her story. Okay. Like Beth and Mandy have shared some deep things that have happened to them in their childhood, like seeing where those struggles were and then seeing the solution, how you've overcome it. That's going to give somebody hope that is going through that struggle right now. And so that's, those are the adversity things in your life, making your mess your message. That kind of phrase has been thrown out a lot. Like using the things that, and I'm not saying that you need to go like air all your dirty laundry out on Facebook or Instagram or social media, but breadcrumbing things along the way, letting people know about you without overloading on them. You don't want to word vomit on people, but you want to kind of make your life in a kind of a way of like a reality TV show. Like, why do we keep watching them? Because we want to know what's going to happen next. Because there's some sort of hot mess going on, right? Like, it's not all rainbows and sunshine. If it was all rainbows and sunshine, no one would watch. There's a little bit of drama. There's a little bit of adversity. There's a little bit of something going on that you want to maybe see the thing that's happening, that's going to happen. Like, how's it going to end? Are they going to overcome? Are they going to find a solution? Like, you've got hot mess covered. We all do. Okay. I was just yelling at my daughter to drink that stupid Tylenol before I came up here. Okay. Like we all got hot mess covered. So it's just a matter of now finding the solution to that. You're overcoming those things and finding the other side of it. So in a way, you're going to be kind of like a reality TV series. You're wanting to share a little bit of your message. Think about like when you want the duck to follow you, do you drop the whole loaf of bread in front of them and walk away? No, you break off little pieces and you like parcel it out and they follow you because they want more. Same thing happens with your story. That's why they call it breadcrumbing. You want to just bits and pieces of your story that go along the way. They also don't necessarily want you to be the hero. They don't want you to show up and say, hey, I'm amazing. I've done it. I've conquered it all. No, they like that hot mess a little bit. They want to see the struggle. They want to see things, but they also want to see the solution. You need to be able to show how they can be a part of your story. And if you always show up as the hero all the time, kind of it gives not necessarily how you're trying to do it, but it sometimes will come off as like, I've figured it out, and so what? They don't want to necessarily follow that. So they don't see themselves in that solution yet. So showing them the path to that solution is how you get there. It's good to talk about success, like, yay, I've lost 45 pounds, I've lost 35 pounds, I've lost 100 pounds. But if you don't talk about the journey that gets you there, it's for loss, because they can't see if they have 35, 45 pounds to lose, they just may look at you and say, good for you. She could do it, I can't. But if you show them how you got there, and they've been following along your journey anyway, but even if you're just constantly breadcrumbing little pieces of these are solutions that I had as you get there, that's going to be a lot more opportunity for them to follow along and find success for themselves too. Another tip is less is more. Simplicity is key. Don't overcomplicate things. Don't give so many details that is overwhelming. Those kinds of that information, but being transparent and sharing what you're learning along the way. If you're reading a good PD book, a good quote hits you, share what that means to you, or how it reminded you of something, and always be providing value to someone. If you're writing out your story and you're thinking like, I don't know, like, is this going to work? Is this going to really relate to someone? Like, think about like, why should someone care about what they're reading? What kind of value are you adding to them? Are you just simply telling them something, or is you telling them something that they can connect to and that they're going to be able to see themselves in? What are they going to get out of it? We talk about this a lot in goals and anything in life. Like when you are going to do something, a lot of the question is like, what am I going to gain from this? And that's what they're thinking about too when they're reading it. Why should they take time to read your post? Why should they take time to follow your story? Are they going to get anything out of it? Are you engaging them? Are you trying to be intentional with asking questions by connecting to emotion? Are you being intentional with being just connected to your followers, to who's listening and who's watching? And then are you trying to revoke? No, that's not the word. So are you trying to get a response from them? What's evoke? Are you trying to evoke a response from them? And how can you be a part of that? So you want to really post as if you are talking to that one person sitting on the other side of your computer, or the one person that's sitting across from you at the coffee table. How would you share your story if you're talking to one person? Not trying to appease the masses, not trying to make it, skirt around the corner of like, I don't want to make somebody feel bad, but like, how would you share your story if you were sitting in the coffee shop talking to somebody, or sitting across from somebody at your kitchen table? Thinking about those kinds of things. All right. So that's why it's important to share your story. That's why it's important to kind of how to share your story a little bit. And then does anybody have questions on that? Was that worthwhile information? Because now we're going to get to work, but yeah. Okay. Did I lose anybody? Okay. Okay. So tonight, after, now you kind of know why you need to share your story, what is your story, how those kinds of things. Now we're really going to kind of put pen to paper and really start brainstorming how you can make your posts, or how you can really tell your story on your social media. Now, there's lots of different ways of doing this. So these are just a few examples to kind of get you started, get you going. Some of the things that I've been hearing from coaches lately on the team is that I just don't know what to post. I don't know when to post things. I don't know if I should be talking about coaching. I don't know if I should be talking about challenge groups. I just don't know what to do or what to say. I get stuck when I sit down to write a post. And so I'm going to give you a couple of resources tonight, some brainstorming pieces to kind of get you going. And so I'm going to share my screen quick. Can you see this? If I take all these things down. Can you see this? Yeah, thumbs up. Okay, so these are just some simple things that you can give it a try, okay? So this is one kind of posting plan. I always say, you know, do you guys hear me say this a lot? Have a plan, right? So what is your plan for the week? How are you going to be posting? I can share all of these graphics with you so you don't have to frantically write down. But having a posting plan, this is just one person's kind of thought process and plan, and they just stick to this concept every single week. On Sunday is a vision, a dream, a call to coaching. Everybody's heading back to work on Monday. How can you share with them the coaching opportunity that might be a release from the struggles and the anxiety that they have about going to work on Monday, right? So sharing your vision, being crystal clear with your vision. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm getting out of this. This is where I've found success here. Okay, talking about where you are, what your dreams are, and a call to your coaching team happens usually on Sunday night, is when people are sitting in their living rooms scrolling on their social media before they have to go to work tomorrow. They're avoiding that kind of concept there, right? On Monday, I'm going to talk about usually kids, family, life. What you really want to do is, like, it doesn't necessarily matter all the other days. Not so much of a big thing. Sunday night, really talking about dreams and coaching call, that's a bigger deal. The other ones just really kind of fall into wherever, as long as you're talking about them kind of interspersed, okay? So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you notice that all the days are there, but Tuesdays, Thursdays are calls to actions with coaching or challenge groups. Now you can do this any way you want. Maybe you do Tuesday is a challenge group call to action. Maybe Thursday is a coaching call to action. Maybe you do 1 week you're just talking about coaching, and the next week you just talk about challenge groups, and alternate that. That's up to you. That's why you get to be your own CEO and run your business the way you want to. But what is important here is that before you do this call to action and coaching, these call to actions on Tuesdays and Thursdays or whenever you do it, the day before, you need to do something that's really going to provoke a lot of activity on your page. So for me, what provokes activity on my page are my kids, right? I can post about me 7 days a week, and I'm not going to get nearly the action, likes, comments, things on my page as I would if I posted a picture of Hattie. Like even tonight, like I could say, I'm gonna go post a picture of her saying, well, we didn't really think we'd end up in the ER today. And like, that's gonna get a lot of attention. Not that I'm trying to use my daughter in that lot of light, but like, if I do something with my kids or a regular life or a family type oriented post on one day, get a lot of people interested in seeing my page, and like the algorithm just starts happening. If they're interacting with my page with likes, comments, those kinds of things, now they're going to see my stuff that shows up on the next day or later in the day. So Monday's family, kids, life. Tuesday, Thursdays, or the next day, it's going to be calls to action. I'm going to be posting about my challenge group coming up, what about my story and how these challenge groups have worked for me or coaching has worked for me. Wednesday is going to be a value add, some sort of tip, some sort of recipe, maybe something you've learned along the process. Friday could be a progress photo or a post on your goals or where you're going. And Saturday is about community and team oriented. Again, you can put these in any order that you want. And these are just ideas to kind of get you going, okay? But really thinking about when you're going to do those kind of heavier posts of like where you really want people to see them, post something the day before, or that you get a lot of people drummed up into, like with the algorithm, that are engaging with your page, like polls. So like when we did Lift 4 launch, I would do a poll one day and get people just answering questions. And then the next day I did a post answering kind of what the poll is about. Okay. And so I was always giving them that engagement and then give them some information to go with it. Okay, another thing to think about is these kind of 5 questions that are here. And I've posted these 5 questions before. We actually ran a group called Own It. Oh gosh, a long time ago now, a couple of years ago maybe. And it was really when I was like really gung-ho about doing this. And so it was really helpful in that it was just 5 simple questions, and I could answer these 5 questions every day of the week. In fact, what I really did was I took 5 pages in my notebook. I have the journal actually behind me. And so I just took 5 pages. And so day 1, why did I decide to be a coach? And I listed out all of the reasons why I wanted to be a coach and why I decided to do it. Then day 2, what has changed because of Beachbody? And I listed all of the things that have changed in my life because of this opportunity, because of the challenge groups or the team or anything related to Beachbody. What has changed my life because of that? Day 3, what do I see in my future because of Beachbody? Day 4, what's my favorite part of coaching? Okay, really sharing some of those things. 5, what made me nervous about coaching? This is where you talk about objections. This is about what made you nervous, like really sharing your story. And like, I didn't want to be a salesperson, right? I didn't want to have to hit up my friends and family to buy things for me. I didn't want to whatever. Like this is where you get to talk about how you were nervous and how you overcame those things. And maybe you talk about objections that other people have had, and relate to them. Like I was talking to Beth earlier this week, and we were talking about the cycle of relate to people, inform people, and question people. So if you're in that conversation thread with people, that's how you should be communicating with people. Relate to what they tell you, give them a little bit of information, that breadcrumbing stuff, and then give them a question, give them something to react to, some respond to. And that can be very much in your post as well. Okay. Relate to share part of your story and give them a little bit of information about how you've made a solution or you found something here with Beachbody, and then, ask some questions to help provoke some information to get them going. All right. Another thing that I think I've stopped sharing because I did the screen. Oh, shoot. It's back here. We had a this is what I want to share. So, can you guys see that? Just Jess. Okay, so this is in August. Can you guys see that, Jess? Okay, so this is just a posting plan that it says Fit and Fearless, which I thought was really kind of funny, but it's not our Fit and Fearless. It's Sarah Law, who some of you may or may not know from the Team Rockstar Fit group, but her team is called Fit and Fearless. And so she created this Instagram challenge, and it's really, you can use this any day in August. You can use it any month actually, but you can just use it to kind of get started. So, answer the questions like, who are you? Where are you from? Why is that important? How did you get started? What's your favorite workout? Where you work out? Your morning routine. Focusing on like, these are kind of the topics, like the main idea of the piece that you're going to be sharing. And then, these are just like little things that they can be doing in your Instagram or just starting as a conversation starter. If you go to Pinterest, you can find all kinds of these kinds of posting plans. So if you're really stuck or you feel like you just don't have anything to share that day, or you're just so uninspired about anything that's happened in your life, you can just go to one of these kinds of resources or pull up one of those questions and really think about what is it that I could share. Now, something that I've done for a long time, actually, that I just have available to me now is that I have in my notes section of my computer, I have this is actually the post that I'm going to make tonight. It says Monday, but it was a Monday way back in the day. What I used to do was on Sunday afternoons or Sunday evenings, I would write out all the posts that I was going to have for the evening posts in the week. And so if you really scroll way back in here, you'll find the 5 questions. Okay, so this one was the favorite part. What is my future because of Beachbody? What has changed because of Beachbody? Why did I become a Beachbody coach? I was talking about community was my theme. So I really came up with like themes of topics, and then I stuck to that for the week. So like I was really talking about community in September 2016. That's how long ago we did this, that Own It group. And so then I would really talk about community in all 5 of those questions. This one was about freedoms, okay, from September 2016. Why did I choose this? Freedom of purpose, freedom of forgiveness. What has changed because of Beachbody? Freedom of people. What do I see in my future? Freedom of whatever. What made me nervous about coaching? Right? Like I have all these posts just kind of written in here, and I still go back to them and tweak them and change them. Like I got to be so much better at telling my story over the last couple of years. I'm better at telling my story now than I was back in 2016, but I have them here that I can use them as starting points. So if I do kind of get stuck, or I'm in a pinch of I can't find something, or I'm just stuck at some point, I can go through what's speaking to me here, and then how can I change it to match what my life is like now, or how can I adapt it to be here. So here's just my favorite part of coaching. And I have all kinds of things that are in here that I could pull out as an individual, or I can post as a whole. It's completely up to you, and think how you can maybe do something like this. Okay. The other thing that I like to do, if you're stuck on a story or you're stuck on something, you don't really know what to do for a post. And this really kind of only works if you've been doing this for a while. But if you go to your memories, and it will work, I guess, if you haven't worked, if you have people tagged you in things. So like 1 year ago, I was doing Shift Shop. Okay. So you can see how I was posting at that point. Can't believe it's already, that was when we were doing the graphics. Kara posted this on August 8th, 2017. Okay. Could I go use these words? Probably, but they're not mine. I'm not going to copy it, but can I take inspiration from it? Talking about a grander vision. What is life? Is life done to me alone? She's talking about community here. Okay. So then there's a bunch of, all the memories of your kids are going to pop up in here as well. Sometimes it's really fun. This is what my post was about this morning. I started here. Did you guys notice that my post this morning was me sitting in a chair with my earbuds and my Energize? I got the inspiration with 0 sleep from this post and just changed it up. Obviously, I'm not doing Shift Shop today, but I talked about how personal development, my superhero juice, was going to be the solution for my lack of sleep today, and how I was going to be a better mom, and how I was going to be, more patient, and how plugging into PD was going to help change my mindset. And so I was talking about my struggle of not getting any sleep, and I provided a solution of how I've overcome that. So the mom that is tired and run down and whatever, who knows she's going to get snippy with her kids, now she has a tool in her tool belt. She says, hey, that worked for Kim. She went and got it plugged in some personal development. And then someone actually commented on my post today and said, what is it that you listen to? I was like, yes, right? I can share some resources with you. I can value add. Okay. So like, all these things about how I shared all kinds of stuff in here. It's really funny. All right. So you can go, I could do another, like a bicep challenge here of like what my biceps look. Kidding. Yeah. And how I just posted, and we can have a dance party. She's still wild and crazy. Not acting like that tonight, but, so just be thinking about how you can craft your story and get to work with that part of it. Does that make sense? Did you guys get some ideas spinning in your head a little bit? Okay, so it's 8:36. We are going to, what I want you to do next is take out a piece of paper, okay? And I want you to divide it in 6. I want you to divide it in 5, whatever you want to do, and mark it off, and you're gonna just start brainstorming. So you can think about how, I'll put the questions back up so you can see. First of all, do you have any questions? Anyone want to share anything or ask anything about this before we kind of get rolling? Anything in the comments? Okay. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again, and of those, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Of the 5 questions, and of the posting plan. And I want you just to kind of think about how you might start brainstorming. What are some things that you could be putting down on paper that you could start creating a posting plan? Another idea that I've done in the past is, you guys know I like my planner, is that you can pull out a planner for the month, or you can pull out this way, and you probably can't see me, can you? You can pull out a planner this way and just start plotting topics or ideas down on your paper of how you're going to make a post. Or you could really start, getting into this and really start putting some details and really scheduling out how you're going to make your posts. So you're really figuring it out. Totally up to you. But I just want to give you some work time tonight. I want to give you some thoughts, some time to really get some feedback or ask questions, really kind of put some pen to paper, and then we will come back in about 10 minutes after you've had some time to really think about what might be able to share, and just share a couple topics of things that you might be putting into your post soon. Okay? Sound good? Thumbs up? Maybe? Okay. Yes, good idea, Jess. Okay. So I'm going to share that screen again. So they're here. I'm going to play a couple songs. And while you're thinking of those things, I'm going to be thinking of those things. Any requests on music? I could do Greatest Showman. Just listening to, oh, come on. Where's my library? All right, go ahead and get to work on your questions. I'll put this back up.
When the pieces seem to shatter, to gather off the floor, all it seems to matter is that I don't feel you anymore. No, I don't feel you anymore. I need a reason to see. I need a...
I'll find some flow. There we go.
I heard that you settled down, that you found a girl and you're married now. I heard that your dreams came true. Yes, he gave you things I didn't give to you. Old friend, why you so shy? And like you hold back, oh, have some lie. I hit to turn up out of the blue, uninvited, but I couldn't say away. I couldn't fight it. I'd hope to see my face, and that you'd be reminded that for me it isn't over. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I'm back. I remember you said sometimes it lasts a little, but sometimes it hurts insane. Sometimes it lasts a little, but sometimes it hurts insane. You know other fireflies only. Yesterday was a time of our lives. We were born and raised in a summer haze, bound by the surprise of our glory days. I had to turn up out of the blue, uninvited, that I couldn't stay away. I couldn't fight it. I hoped you'd see my face, and that you'd be reminded that for me it isn't over. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me. I'm back. I remember you say sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Nothing compares, no worries or cares, regrets and mistakes and memories made. Could have known how bittersweet this would taste. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you. Don't forget me, I'm back. I remember you said sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I'm back. I remember you say sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. You know how the time flies only. Yesterday was a time of our lives. We were born and raised in a summer haze, bound by the surprise of our glory days. I had to turn up out of the blue, uninvited, but I couldn't stay away. I couldn't fight it. I hoped you'd see my face, and that you'd be reminded that for me it isn't over. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I'm back. I remember you say sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes hurts instead. Sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes hurts instead. Like a river, 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 like a river. Touch your mouth, man, run me like a river. How do we walk in love? Harder than a bullet can hit ya. How do we fall apart? Faster than a hairpin trigger. Don't you say, don't you say, don't say, don't you say,
All right, ladies. Yes, that was the Pyro soundtrack. Okay, I want to share with you, and maybe you can just pull this up on your phone because you may not be able to see it from my screen because of lighting and whatnot. But this is one thing that like I don't follow top coaches very often. Again, the only time I ever do is to see what they're doing and to kind of figure out how I can be inspired by it, how I can implement what they're doing, or just see what's happening in their business and why they're being successful, okay? Analyzing and reflecting is 80% more going to get you 80% more gain than anything that you do in your life. No matter how much knowledge you have, no matter like how hard you're hustling on things, if you're not actually going back and reflecting on what you're doing to see if it's working, or going and checking to see what other people are doing to figure out how that you can better strategize for yourself, that's where it goes. Okay, so earlier in the week, everyone's probably ever heard of Emily Faber, like, right? You know who she is? She's like she's like emerald or baby diamond at the beginning of the year to like 15-star diamond by the time she got to Summit. So it means she went from emerald to 15-star by like May 15th was like the cutoff for Summit recognition. Big deal. Okay. So I was like, okay, what is she doing? How is she making that change? What is she doing that's different than the rest of us? Okay, so I just went to her. I've just been following her for the last couple of days. Just want to see what she's doing, how she's sharing her story. She shared her whole thing was how she could not get pregnant. She was in this deep depression. She had lots of miscarriages. She found 80-day obsession and just took off with it, like used it as her fuel and her story to like just transform her life. And so now she's recently gotten pregnant. So they're having a baby and it's awesome. She just announced it within like the last couple days. So it's been kind of fun to watch that as well. She's that reality TV star that you just want to keep following and know what's going to happen next. But I don't know if my sound is all the way up. But I would just encourage you to just go to her stories and listen to how she's sharing and talking about things, okay? She literally...
I'm doing... allows a lot of flexibility in the meal plan, and you get cheat days, and you're only working out 4 days a week. And I'm loving it so far, especially with my new lifestyle. This is perfect. So swipe up to the other group that I will be hosting starting the 20th is the one that helped me change my whole entire life, and I lost 21 pounds with. And so there's not as much flexibility, and the workouts are a little longer, but people get insane.
Okay, so then she just shares a bunch of things. Like earlier before, like they've expired, obviously.
Goosers.
And she just talks about Goose, her dog, a lot.
Have you seen? Oh, you don't want me to touch you? Oh, I just almost poked you in the eye.
But like one of the things that she does before this is emilyfaber.fit. She was talking about how she's just nauseous all the time and she doesn't really know when she's going to be able to work out because she's feeling sick with this pregnancy. So how she really loves this 4-day-a-week thing, and how yesterday she was supposed to be a workout day, but she was feeling nauseous and sick. So today she's going to work out. Okay. So she just naturally shares how things work. And so those weren't the best examples right there because most of it was about her dog, but like you can see how she shares naturally how things are fitting into her life, how she's just talking to the girl across the screen from her. Like she's not talking to anybody and everybody. And a lot of times she'll say things like, I've been getting a lot of questions about, and maybe she is, maybe she's not, but like she's still piquing the interest and making it seem like people are asking a lot of questions. It could be something that you give a whirl to, right? Even if one person asks you a question about it, and even if you put the post of questions thing there and have your success partner go ask the question so it shows up on your Instagram so you can talk about it, whatever you need to do, but like get conversation going, get questions going, and just share naturally how things are working for you. Okay. Now, in that same kind of mode there, knowing that I might have a sick kid tomorrow, I'm really tempted to go do my workout tonight. And so I have tomorrow off. I could talk about that on my stories. I could talk about how, or if I, don't get it done tomorrow for whatever reason, I can put it off to Friday and Saturday and not be that big of a deal. Okay. Like you can talk about how things fit into your life, talk about how this is just a natural part of it, and just making it seem like it's no big deal, so people don't get so caught up in the world of like, oh my gosh, I can never do that kind of thing. You know, it's just a matter of like not blasting it, but like it's just a part of who you are and it's a part of your story. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'd like to hear, we're gonna go around the screen and share one thing that you are, EmilyFavre.fit is her IG name. If you go, just share one thing that you're gonna post about, one piece of your story or one topic that you kind of came up with. About 5 minutes left. We go like 1 minute per person. Share one thing that you're gonna talk about, or like what you kind of took as your inspiration. Who wants to go first? Should I just call on people? Beth looks freaked out. Maybe I should start with her. I'm going to start with Steph down in the corner. I'm unmuting you. Go.
Hey. So something that is just kind of come up like naturally as I've been doing Lift 4 is, since we have like the 3 rest days, normally on the days that I'm working out, I'll post something about my workout, how did it go, or something motivational with it. But then on the rest days, that's where I'm plugging in the coaching posts and things like that, because I don't have a workout to talk about that day. Like I can talk about like nutrition or something else, but it's just fitting in naturally on those rest days right now.
Good work. Good. Okay. Marcy, you're next on my screen. I unmuted you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm thinking that I need to obviously talk about coaching more. I felt like you were talking to me when you said, don't make it all sound like you've got it all mastered, kind of a thing. And I feel like a lot of my posts are about, you know, where I'm at and how it's benefiting me, but not my story, so to speak. So I think maybe just going back to where I was before I came to Beachbody and how I was spending, 2 hours a day at the gym, and at the gym away from my family, where here now I'm at home with my kids. And if they need me, they can interrupt me. I can hit pause, and 30 minutes to an hour, kind of focus more on the benefits of that kind of thing.
Good. I wasn't specifically thinking about you.
No, but I just felt like you were talking to me. I just felt like, okay.
Yeah. So it resonated. That's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. Candace, what are you going to talk about? I can't unmute you for the right reason.
Your host would like to unmute you. Okay. So mine was about how your life has changed with Beachbody. So one of the things that I was writing about was I've been on a weight loss journey since basically graduate school. Graduate school is when I got fat. It really wasn't my kids, because I was thinner than I am right now after my last one. So it wasn't that. It was graduate school and stress and eating out and stuff like that. So I could totally breadcrumb a lot of that. But also kind of the solution part is how Beachbody became a solution with my consistency. Because even when I was going to the gym, which I was going to the gym right before I signed up with Beachbody, I wasn't consistent with making the time. So now that it is, it's a lot easier. It's just a lot easier to push play. It's a lot harder to come up with excuses why not to push play. So like even yesterday, life went crazy, procrastination, and I could not get the workout in that I wanted to, but I found a workout on there that was 20 minutes long from the 20s. It was kind of weird, but whatever. I still got a workout in.
Right.
Those are weird if you haven't done those. But something
you could
like
totally
that.
do a post of like, man, my life has gotten so much harder. And then be like, harder to not get my stuff done.
Right. Harder to like flake out on myself because it's just too easy.
Right.
Just push play for any amount of time. 20 minutes,
You can do it.
everyone's got 20 minutes.
Exactly. All right. Thanks for sharing. Misty. Oh, I skipped Erica. Misty, let's go with you.
I don't know which one to share. I wrote a bunch of stuff down.
That one.
I would say I probably would go with the season that I'm in right now, and that's working on financial stress, and talking about that. When I started, obviously finances were like really bad. They're better. They're not great, but I can talk about the income potential. I can talk about how, some months the income that I've gotten from Beachbody has totally saved our butts, and talk about, probably this would be go more towards like visions and dreams kind of posting, but where I see myself in the future and how I'm taking action to make those things happen. And that if you just sit back, it's not going to happen. If you don't do something and you don't make the changes, you're just going to continue to be in the same spot that you're in. So Beachbody has actually helped me in that way. Even though I didn't have the money, I didn't have the money to start, I took the chance, I did it, and it's taught me valuable lessons along the way. So,
and I'm not going to out you, but like, there are some things in your life right now that could be the most uncomfortable thing to share, but could be the biggest thing that you could do. So really bringing people along, especially for your audience who never has what you're struggling with.
Yeah.
Okay. So who else? Erica. Go.
Okay. Well, lately I've been extremely stressed out with the wedding, so I have not put all my effort into coaching. But I was thinking about like making a post that has to do with that. I just don't know how to do it.
Okay. Well, so I'm super stressed out right now. I could go eat a box of donuts. I could yell at my fiance. I could go push play for 20 minutes and just work out my stress. Which one should I choose? No, that might be kind of fun thing to do. People might tell you to go eat donuts, or yell at Daniel. But then you can show like, instead I chose to push play because it makes me feel good, or I know that I'm doing something good for myself. Like, there's a lot of ways you could do it. We can talk later about some of those things. Okay. And help craft some of those things. At any time, if you guys need help, or like you're stuck with something and you just need a way of like wording something or getting started, it's okay to shoot things to me and ask. Like, it's so much easier to write a post for somebody else than it is for yourself. Just FYI. So anytime that you can share them with somebody else and like get their take on it, or like say like, this is what I'm trying to say, and then have somebody else kind of just put a spin on it. I think it's fun to write posts for other people. And I've done it for a couple of you. Like you're just like, I don't know what to do. And then and you're like, oh. And same thing happens to me. Like, I send things to other coaches all the time, and I'm like, gosh, why can't I get my message across? And they write it, and I'm like, how is that so easy for you? Because it's not your story. Like, you can write anything, and but it means something to somebody else. So, okay, sorry about that. Good job, Erica. Way to brainstorm there. All right, who's left? Beth? Go for it. If I can get you unmuted.
Unmute myself. Okay, I'm unmuted myself.
Good.
All right, so mine's going to be objections, because that's all I get every single day in and out. And the most is, I can't freaking afford it. Okay, well, we're an income of 1 and we make it work. So that's what I'm going to be posting about tomorrow, is how to make it work.
Good for you.
I don't know how I'm going to word it yet, but my husband helps me with that. Kind of like, you're awesome at that. He's really good at it too.
Good. Yeah. So it's just a matter of breadcrumbing those little pieces. Like, here's my struggle. This is my solution. I can relate to you. I get it. I understand how it's hard to go get the diapers. I get it. I understand how it's you cringe at the grocery store line, but this is making a massive difference in my life.
Yep.
Good. Melissa. I'm trying to unmute you. Oh, there it goes.
Okay. So I guess I've kind of been doing this a little bit about kind of how Beachbody has changed my life and just how it, how I've gained so much knowledge from it with healthier food options, and also how I've been able to commit to myself more and take time for myself with workouts, with personal development, with making sure I get the right foods to eat, drinking more water, all that, just to make myself healthier, because that's the main reason I'm here and doing Beachbody, is just to be healthier, and of course to lose weight, but mostly for heart health and things like that. So I've kind of been touching base with that on my posts so far, and so I'm kind of going with that because I'm kind of
in it.
Just getting out there with posting, and then kind of nervous about it. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, and knowing, you've got lots of information that you're gathering about yourself. You're finding what's working for you. So talking about that little bit of like, this is where I was stuck. This is the new knowledge that I learned. Like that, relating to people. This is the information, and then asking a question or getting some sort of engagement. Like, perfect way to craft out a post. Good work. Your social media is so good. You're doing it. All right, Miss Jill. Oh, there you go.
Okay, so I was kind of talking to Kim about this when we had our meeting, and I really need to hone in on, my avatar has really changed since I started with Beachbody in ways that, like, I was a mama sitting on the floor struggling, and now I have all of this amazing reference, like with personal development, all you wonderful ladies, and men surrounding me that are so positive. And now it's almost like I have a redo on this pregnancy, and I get to come back and feel more confident and relive this out again. And so now I just need to really talk to the mama of like the different pregnancies, how pregnancy 1 was to as opposed to 3. And so, and just really hone in on the mental aspect of it all, because that's been my transformation this entire time. And so speaking to that new beginnings mama, that new mama. So yeah.
Yay.
But it's good to do these 5 questions again, because I've seen them before and I filled these out before, and they are so different now than they were in the beginning.
Right.
It's just crazy to see how much you've grown and everything.
Yeah, and making that like new beginning mama like your main idea, like your theme, kind of like how I had community as my theme, and like answered the 5 questions, like, that new beginning mama, and answering the 5 questions from that lens or from that main idea, like that's so powerful, and you can write a book on it. So much good stuff. Thank you for sharing. Toby, you got something? No? All of you.
I misinterpreted the assignment, and I made 4 questions, and then I made a week plan of like posting things and like what to post about. And like I'll go through them quick because I know I don't want to waste everybody's time, but like one of them is like how to work full time and still manage to be motivated enough to get your workout in. And then one of them is like who I found successful as people to emulate, that are doing good, and to kind of, bridge that success gap sort of there. And then another one is how to balance being a father and being a husband, because, you can't just be a parent and not be a spouse. You have to be both. And then the other one is what aspirations that I would have for like future fitness goals, not just to be, jacked and tan and all juicy looking, but to, what I want as far as like health goes and things like that. And then, I did like a week's plan of like Sunday is like inspire people to get up and be active and do what to achieve. And then Monday is like push play, never miss a Monday, and then Tuesday's like progress updates. And then Wednesday's family day. So, beach day, whatever. And then Thursday is struggles. That's when you would throw down the hard, the hard questions of where you're having a hard time, you're down, and then Friday would be like shout outs of success, not necessarily yourself, but other people that you've seen, triumph and things like that. And then Saturday would be like self-care tips, what I do, foam roller is life, things like that, and personal development. So I totally bombed. I'm kind of in and out because I'm working, but I kind of just threw that together.
You did not bomb. Like, if you bombed, it was like bomb.com, like awesome. Like, not like bad at all.
Thank you.
Was awesome.
Thank you.
I loved all this too. Everyone's blowing up the chat about how they loved your ideas. And then honestly, that's how I did the assignment too, because I've answered all the questions lots of times. So you are doing an awesome job. Steph, are you on there, or do you want to share? Or I'll just share mine next. Hey, there you are. Oh, you already shared. Never mind. Okay. So what I did was the same kind of thing. Like, I just want to plan out my post for the next couple days, because I know that life's going to be crazy busy and I'm not going to be able to just do it. So very much like you did a great posting plan. You took that 5-7 day thing that like this of the ideas that I shared, and you created your own. That's awesome. So Thursdays, tomorrow, my favorite part of coaching could be personal development. I would have never gone to the GLS, the Global Leadership Summit, if it had not been for Beachbody. Like, I just would not have been into personal development. I would have never done something like that, never invested time and money into going to something. And then how awesome it is that my husband joins me. Like, that's gonna be my post tomorrow. Friday is going to be a leadership tip or something that I take away, something that's going to be that I've been inspired by on Thursday or Friday. That'll be my post for that. And then, like learning from how I connected to something in my story. There's always like great personal stories that happen at GLS that I can relate to as a person, and how coaching has maybe helped me get through something like that or whatever. Saturday is we're going to family reunion, like this big Meyer camp out. We're literally going to be sleeping in tents, and there's an ice cream machine. It's crazy. Like, there's so much junk food all the time. Like, kids literally only eat soft serve ice cream. It's nuts. But Saturday's post is going to be, staying on track with my nutrition, taking things that I can eat, really being a part of that. Like, what would I have done before coaching? I would have just gorged out. I would have been the person standing in line with the kids at the ice cream machine, or I would have been walking by the dessert bar all the time and just picking at something. But I know I've got goals now, and that's not going to serve me. And then Sunday is going to be a dreaming post. And I'm really going to think about, like, what I wrote out was that, every year we come to this family reunion and something has changed a little bit about everybody. There's new babies, there's new graduates, there's new marriages, there's new jobs, like where, we're all growing and evolving, and how coaching has really helped me grow and evolve over time. And I'm thinking back, how I've changed over the years going through this process. So, that's what I'm going to be posting about the next couple of days. And just getting started with some of these questions can really help you get going. Or get Toby on the call with you, and like he can help you get inspired about what you want to talk about. So thanks so much for jumping on with me tonight. I know we are way over time, but I really appreciate you sharing and like learning together. And I hope that this has been valuable to you. And I'm going to hit stop.